Good morning. We're here back at the hollow block manufacturer, and I'd like to point out a number of people have got the wrong idea about what a hollow block is all about. I'd like to show you. This is the bottom of a hollow block. If you look at the hole or the orifice there, it is smaller on the bottom than it is on the front. The front is bigger, so it tapers back to the small hole. Now, those that are unfamiliar with building a house in the Philippines must understand that a hollow block is not a foundation. It is purely a mold made of sand and cement. In this particular company here, they, like in many of them, make a standard block 4:1. In other words, 4 bags of sand to 1 bag of cement. Now, if you want a special order, they will put more cement in, but that costs you a little bit more per hollow block. How much are you selling your hollow blocks for, sir? How much are you selling them for?
9.
9 pesos. You see, that's the going rate here in La Union. 9 pesos per hollow block. What about the 5-inch?
5 inch, 10.
10 is 5. So you're making 4 and 5.
6.
And you make 6. How much is a 6?
12. 12.
12. 12 for a 6. Okay. Right, well, so I hope that points out to those that are thinking about building here that you will not get structural strength in a hollow block. It is purely a mold for which you feed it down. Usually about every meter you have a piece of rebar coming up from the foundation going up towards the ceiling. Again, on the ceiling it will have rebar coming back down from the collar beam or the ring beam that they construct to link all of the pillars, which are structural. The best way to describe that is that they're building in the Philippines car parks. If you have a look at a normal car park anywhere in the world, it's just made of pillars everywhere and a floor, and it has a ramp obviously to get up to the different levels. That is a structural building. What they do with the hollow blocks is they do what we would do in the West, either steel frame or wooden frame walls. Here the walls are made out of hollow blocks because, number one, it's cheaper than doing it in lumber. It also has the effect that it doesn't necessarily keep them out, but it doesn't encourage white ants or termites, as often they're referred to. But that is the reason for hollow blocks. They are walls that go between the pillars and therefore are not structural. So please don't think that people putting hollow blocks in their house in some way lessens the strength. If you can visualize all of the hollow blocks in between the pillars, what it does is it tends to stabilize in the event of any kind of movement, either earthquake or otherwise. It can wobble either way, but it's a bit like putting a brace between the pillars, and that's what hollow blocks are there for. So I hope that's of some interest to you. Now inside, they've allowed me to come in and just show you. This is the front entrance. We were filming outside there yesterday. You come inside and you have a turn on the steps. Standard steps made of concrete, and it provides a nice little area downstairs. But anyway, we're not here to look at the design necessarily. We're here to have a look at how they're actually getting the roof set up. Now, as you'll notice here, all of the hollow blocks are now all the way up to the collar or the roof tie, whatever you want to call it, the ring beam. It goes all the way around the whole structure. They're just removing the plywood off the form, which they did yesterday. And as you can see, they still got a bit there to take off. They would have had a big day yesterday. And also you'll notice that the center pillar in the house is now going to support the ridge beam all the way up, and it's formed up there to the top. And on top of that they will have either a herringbone or ladder structure made of angle bar welded together to form a proper steel ridge beam. Not many people do it in concrete, but it's usually then welded to the Rio bar that is sticking out on the top of the pillar proper. They'll get their levels from that. And as you walk between the scaffolds, as you can see, the structure is almost complete now for the roof to be assembled. All of the hollow blocks are in place, as I said earlier, and they will be now rendered while the scaffolds are here. But as you can see, the staircase comes up. They will no doubt place walls in the different areas. I would think there is maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 bedrooms. I'm looking for water. I can see orange as a light, as electrical, so I assume that that is electrical. I can't actually see any blue pipe or something indicating a bathroom upstairs, but there are points like here where electrical has come up. Oh, here we are. This is a good sign. These are the bathroom area. So there's a bathroom in here and what appears to be 1, 2, 3 bedrooms. So that's basically what it's going to be, unless I'm told otherwise. So I hope that just shows you what I was talking about earlier. Between the pillars, that's these here, you fill in the gap with, in effect, your wall. Now with the hollow blocks, the outside gets rendered and the inside gets rendered. So you have a sandwich made of the hollow block, which is softer, filled with cement and concrete as it comes up. And like I was saying to you earlier too, you'll see that you have steel coming up, and every 3 courses you have a line of Rio bar going right the way through the building. And obviously before they put their window in, they will cut these pieces out, as they will the pieces sticking up. But they are there every 3 courses. There's a line of what appears to be, is that 10 or 12? The Rio bar. Is that 12 or 10? 10. Right, so that, thank you. Salamat. That's 10 mm, which is 10 millimeters in everyday language. And as you can see also here, there's a couple of hollow blocks on 3 of them. And you can see that this end here is different from that end. That is the bottom. That is smaller there. And that is the top. I don't know whether you can see it, but that is actually tapered down. And the wide bit is the bit that you do. Hello, here's my wife's relative, her first cousin. Working hard for everybody. Anyway, I hope that helps you understand more the building techniques here in the Philippines at the site of Dewey, and they're already putting up the forms for the foundation pillar. They have a ren in the hole, so to speak, and they have the boss on the job to make sure it's all done. They're running string lines between all of the pillars to ensure that all of the pillars are plumb and in line with each other. Very important job. And Ren Ren is doing some nailing of some supports down the bottom so that they can stabilize and make proper, so that the Rio bar is in the middle of the pillar that they're forming, and also in line with the string line that's between all of the pillars. Done one there, and it's all been supported, ready for pouring. They will probably have made up, by the looks, 3 forms, so they'll pour those today, no doubt. And then tomorrow they'll take the form off to then use them again on the next line of pillars, either down here or across the back. But that's how they'll do it, bit by bit. Slow process, but nevertheless fairly important that all of the things are parallel. There's your string line going along and ensuring that they're all plumb. So they'll be all propped up, ready to take the weight of all of the concrete going in. That's why they've got lots of braces in there to organize it. So that's the progress on Dewey's house, and I'll leave you with the images of Dewey and Ren Ren, his worker. My thought for the day, this of course is the Philippine version of a tuck shop. The kids from the school can come and get a munchie when it's time to play. So this is the lady. Actually, you might recognize this lady. She's the lady of the house that had a car run into it on the highway. So she has a small tuck shop that she operates here every day for the school kids to come and buy their munchies. So my thought for the day, he said, sometimes it's a little hard to come up with one, but nevertheless we must always try and give you something to leave you with the thought of the day, to keep the trolls happy, so to speak, and those that would like to sit down and have a coffee and watch my videos in the morning, whether you're in America, Australia, England, or in Europe, or even maybe in the Philippines. This is my barangay hall, and where they play the basketball and put on different events. Yesterday we spoke about Filipino ladies and how we must not disrespect their different ways. I try to be respectful when I demonstrate or refer to some of the little traits that Filipino women you may well encounter within your relationship. It's not meant in any way, like a troll might suggest, to denigrate or to try and trip us up on what we say, but the reality is that Filipinos, like anywhere in the world, all women are completely different from men. Their way of thinking is different. And the idea that somehow they're going to be any different here is a misconception. If I sound a bit croaky this morning, I have a frog in my throat, which is quite normal. Occasionally it happens here in the Philippines, especially us Westerners. We succumb to this. The girls are on their way to school, and the rhythm of the day starts as it does every day, Monday to Friday, differently on the weekend. But back to my thought. You know, guys, women here in the Philippines are the backbone of the community. The men, some of them, are diligent and go to work, and do a hard day's work. But you will see others doing what appears to be not much work. They will be the ones that sell the numbers down the road. People stop, give them their numbers. No receipt, just the guy seems to know all his customers and he picks a number, pays the money, and it's like a little lottery. Like it is here in the Philippines, it's a lottery. We must never know what's around the corner, because otherwise we might decide not to come here. It's full of all kinds of pressures, all kinds of problems, none of them unsurmountable. But you have to remember that when you do come to the Philippines, you're starting not only a new life in a new country, you're having to apply a completely different set of rules to use to navigate your way around what is around you. It's not just knowing the street names, which don't usually appear. It's more about knowing the customs, knowing what is the normal way of behaving and what is acceptable here. All of these things are learnt processes for us foreigners. Sometimes we might make a fool of ourselves. Sometimes we might think we're doing what is right and discover that in actual fact we're doing it completely wrong. But the joy of being here in the Philippines is that each day is a new beginning. Every day. Every day you never know what's going to happen. Look at those lovely bougainvillea, all the beautiful colours, just like ours. Everybody loves bougainvillea here. And I can't emphasize more, as Corinne said in a very powerful video a few days ago, when she spoke of her father wanting to come back to the Philippines. And I urge you all to have a look at Filipina Unfiltered. Corinne, a lady who has spent her time in America, some 50 years, her family, and as a result is that for me?
I don't know. It's name for John Edward Huliganga.
Who?
John Edward.
John?
John Edward Huliganga.
No, that's not me, not John Edwards. Wrong one. And here's another local. Hello, Sheila. So, back to Corinne. A very powerful video showing you from the heart the difficulties that one faces when a family member, a Filipina or a Filipino, decides to come and live out their final days here in the Philippines after maybe many years overseas. There's this tug, this drawback, which many foreigners may also have accordingly. And I hope that even if you're on a low salary or a low pension, that you're able to keep aside enough for you to achieve that, if that is your aim in life. But I will urge you to go and have a look at that one about her father. It's in black and white, very appropriate music, but it does tell you a lot. And I think if you wait till the end, right to the end of the video, you can't help but be moved by her video. So that's my thought for the day. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye now.